Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us today for our Tuesday talk session. We are looking at essential oils and we are today making fudge and hot chocolate. So I am Janine McDonald of Clear the Clutter Now, and along with decluttering and home organisation, I also focus on essential oils as well, looking after your well-being and reducing the toxins in your home. So pass you over to Louise and she will introduce herself now.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am Louise. I'm standing in for Aislíng this morning as she's not able to be with us today. So I have a Facebook group called Healthier and Happier Living with Louise, where I focus on inspiring other women, predominantly mums, to focus on themselves, their self-care, their well-being, and to look at things from a holistic angle. So looking at ways that you can improve your well-being and your health, your mental health, emotional health, that kind of thing, incorporating nutrition, sleep, self-care, so many different things. It's such a wide and diverse umbrella. One of which would be essential oils, as I'm a big fan of them and use them and love them. I'm also a massive advocate for Arbonne nutrition products as well as their skincare and their makeup as well. So I should be making a healthy hot chocolate this morning using the Arbonne chocolate protein, some cacao powder, not cocoa powder, and if I can find where I put it down on my worktop, some Doterra peppermint essential oil. So I've just freshly boiled my kettle. I'm going to have to kind of squat up and down just so if you can't see what I'm doing. I've got my mug. So I'm going to be using 1 scoop of the Arbonne chocolate protein powder. So this is gluten-free. It's refined sugar-free. It's also vegan. So if anyone has got a lactose intolerance, dairy intolerance, if you are sensitive to gluten, this can be a great alternative because a lot of what is available on supermarket shelves has already got milk powder in it, or there's gluten in there. And it's not until you start reading packets and labels that you start to realise what is actually in the food that we buy.
It's incredible, isn't it? Just how many different things have got gluten in it that you don't realise.
It's quite scary though as well when you start reading the labels. So as well as being gluten-free, vegan and everything else, it's kosher, it's non-GMO. There's also 20 vitamins and minerals in there as well. Kind of all the essentials that you need. And 2 scoops, which is what I would use in a protein shake, has got 20 grams of vegan protein. So the protein is derived from pea, rice and cranberry. So for our hot chocolate, I've used 1 scoop, so that's 10 grams. So I'm just going to add in some cacao powder, which I've decanted. I buy it in bulk and I decant it into a more suitable tub. So
now,
this
sorry, Louise, cacao is different than cocoa, isn't it?
It is. So cocoa powder is very, very processed and refined. So basically all the goodness that's in it has just been stripped out and gone. Whereas with cacao powder, the antioxidants are still there, the minerals are still there, the vitamins are still there. So the health benefits far outweigh cocoa powder. So I think more and more supermarkets are now starting to stock it. But if you can't, have a little Google online and it's readily available. As I say, I tend to buy mine in bulk and then decant down, and it's more cost effective that way. So I've got my, hopefully it's not going to drop it out, scoop in there. So I'm going to mix it up with a fork. Stir together. Now you could make this using oat milk. I've got almond milk. Some people like to heat milk and have all milk. For me personally, I find that a bit too rich, so I have probably 70-30 hot water and milk. So I'm just going to give that a good stir with my fork. It doesn't tend to dissolve as quickly as what a traditional shop bought hot chocolate powder would. If you've got one of those little milk frother whizzy things, you could also use one of those as well.
Sometimes you can get like the mini whisks as well, can't you?
I have got one actually, the battery one. There we go.
Hey!
Doesn't really work with water though. Good stir up. I'm going to grab my milk, which I didn't get out of my fridge. Bear with. So I've got almond milk, so I'm just going to add that in. It's really quite a thick hot chocolate as well, so it's very indulgent, very filling as well. So if it's like a really cold day and you're feeling a bit peckish, rather than reaching for the biscuits, have a healthy hot chocolate instead. Or you could have a healthy hot chocolate and then make Janine's fudge afterwards. Which I have made, and it's absolutely delicious. So peppermint oil. I absolutely love peppermint oil. I've had to grab a new bottle because my husband is currently using it to treat his sciatica, which is coming out in his foot. So because doTERRA oils are so pure, very, very concentrated, you don't need very much. So I'm going to use a toothpick just to pop in, if I can find the hole. Not easy when you're visually impaired. So just to pop in the end, and then I'm going to swirl it round in my hot chocolate. Another stir up. And there we go. One healthy peppermint hot chocolate. And I've actually got peppermint oil in my diffuser necklace today as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You'll be able to breathe then.
Well, my hubby's off work today and he's hired in a floor sander. There's like dust everywhere and I just keep coughing. So it's like, I just need to breathe something nice.
Yes. Yeah. So can you tell us any of the benefits of the peppermint oil?
So peppermint oil, there are lots of benefits. You're putting me on the spot now because Janine's knowledge is like amazing. So it's great for respiratory. I use it a lot for headaches. I use it obviously in cooking. You can pop a drop into hot water. You could pop some into cold water. Great for digestion. It's just, I love it. You could even make, I did see the other day, you could use 55% chocolate, cocoa solids chocolate. So that's kind of like a dark chocolate. 200 grams of that, melt it, add 2 drops of peppermint oil, pop them into chocolate molds and then let them set, and then you've got some really lovely after dinner chocolate mints. So that would be really nice to do. I think I might actually do that for Christmas.
We made peppermint creams last year.
Did you?
And we made the mistake of putting 2 drops of peppermint oil in with the icing sugar and the egg
Did it blow your head off?
And it blew our heads off, so much so that we had to throw it away.
Oh, no.
However, we made some this year, and realizing our mistake last year, again, we used the cocktail stick method, and we just needed a couple of dips in the bottle, wiggle it round, stir it round, and we've dipped them in melted chocolate. But again, it was showing us to make them in sort of like quite big molds. But what we've done is we just rolled them up into little balls and just dipped them in chocolate, because that's enough. That's enough what you need. So yeah, so they don't blow our heads off, but they are still very strong, very strong.
It is surprising, actually. I've used different brands of essential oils over the years, and you know, I've always loved peppermint. And when you smell the doTERRA peppermint compared with another brand's peppermint, it's just like, why did I ever think the other brand actually smelled like peppermint? It's like, this smells like peppermint. It's mind-boggling because it's just so pure. I don't know how many. Is there a certain quantity of leaves that go into making this? I know there is.
Yes, there are.
Lemons.
I'm not sure how many. I know it's a lot. It is a lot. But even my children, if they go to somebody else's house and they have a diffuser or they have essential oils that aren't doTERRA and they have a smell of them, they know that they're not pure. Yeah. So they'll smell them and like, Mummy, that's not right. that doesn't smell right. So they are great advocates of the essential oils as well. So,
amazing. And it's really good that children can use them as well, because they are safe to use. My youngest son, he absolutely loves them. He's got the children's range, so he uses a lot of them in the mornings before he goes to school. He uses the calmer one at bedtime. They've just been really beneficial for him.
Yeah, the same with my children. They both love them. My eldest puts them on before she goes to bed. My youngest will use them throughout the day. And even if her friends come and say one of them just bumps the leg, they'll be like, "Mummy, I need the lavender." And then she goes and rolls it on for them. So yeah, so I'm wishing now that I'd actually got those ingredients, because I'm now wanting a hot chocolate. I don't know about you, Jackie. How about you?
It is very nice, and obviously if you use the toothpick method and you dip it in and it's not minty enough, then you can just put it in again to add a little bit more in. But obviously if you put a drop in and it's too strong, you're kind of stuffed, really.
Yeah, you can't really save it after that, can you? Because you'd be ending up making, like, you know, a whole casserole pan full. Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much, Louise, for that.
Well.
We are definitely going to try some. So we are now going to make some wild orange chocolate fudge. Now, what you need for this, I have prepared some earlier. I'm just laughing because I've got my red jumper on, my microwave's red, and it blends in with the wall. So I might look like I've got a bit of a floating head. So we need 500 grams of chocolate. So any type of chocolate will do. Obviously, it's quite an indulgent thing to make. So all we do is break it up into the pieces. So I've done most of it, or else I'd have spent a while doing that. The kids love making this. You can make it in the microwave like we are doing today, or you can make it in the slow cooker. And to make it in the slow cooker, all you do is mix all the ingredients in, pop it on high, and then stir it, give it a really good stir every 10 minutes for an hour. So if you've got kids wanting to do it, that's a really good way, because they love keep coming back and seeing how the consistency changes as well. So literally we've got 400 grams of milk chocolate. We've got 100 grams of white chocolate. Now I am going to pour in 1 tin of condensed milk. Now what I did here was I opened the lid, and there's a lot of condensed milk that sticks to the lid. So I've just opened it most of the way, and it's just slid back down into the tin, which is great. So that goes in there as well. Make sure that it is condensed milk and not evaporated milk, because evaporated milk is a lot thinner and it won't then thicken up, ready for you to put in the mould. So we scrape every last little bit out, because we don't want to waste any. Okay, and then what I do is I just put the spatula back in the tin, because we're going to need that every few minutes. You also need either a loaf tin with some greaseproof paper. I've actually got these, which are reusable baking sheets. So it's like reusable greaseproof paper, and all you do, they come pre-cut like that, so they fit round tins, rectangular tins, square tins. Literally, if you can see there, just pop it in, and the edges fold round each other. So you've not got all the cutting and the folding and the creasing and everything. And also you don't need to grease them either. So I'm just going to pop that to one side, because we don't need that until later on. So what we're going to do now, oh, we've got the wild orange as well. So this is the Doterra wild orange, and I love the smell, love it. Oh. So, you know, there's generally a chocolate orange brand around. It does taste like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this in the microwave and put it on high. I'm going to start off with just 20 seconds. Sorry, you're going to get the noise of the microwave now, aren't you? So what we're doing now is we're just softening the chocolate, and the condensed milk will start to melt down as well. So wild orange is incredible. It actually promotes collagen production. We're going to have lots of beeps, aren't we? So you can see for that first 20 seconds, it's not actually done much, but it's starting to warm on the bottom. So that's why we just do it in short spurts. So your wild orange reduces aging and wrinkles and dark spots. And you can just put 1 to 2 drops in your face cream or your body cream. And not only do you smell gorgeous, it's obviously so good for your skin as well. So it fights acne and it's an anti-inflammatory. So we could actually say that eating fudge is good for you. Could get around it that way, do you think? Maybe not. So what I'm going to do now is just give it a stir, and I can start to see, I don't know whether you can see this. Can you see it's just starting to melt in the middle? So give it a mix round and pop it back in. Gosh, crash. Okay, so wild orange also helps support lower blood pressure, improves your blood flow as well, and it fights hypertension. So, and it's a comforter. So I suppose this is an ideal comfort food, really. There are a lot of calories in it, so you just need a small piece. So wild orange does so many different things. So it's good for your skin, it's good for your mood, it's also good for cleaning. You can make your own wood polisher with it, which is just olive oil and your wild orange and some vinegar. So you can see it's all starting to mix and merge together now. So I'm just going to give it a really good stir. And sometimes it actually gets quite stiff to stir it. So make sure we get all the bits around the outside and get those into the middle. Okay, it's a great air purifier as well. So I love it in the diffuser. Wild orange and peppermint's nice, wild orange and lavender. And wild orange and balance oil is great for having those grounding effects and uplifting your mood. So if you're struggling with worrying thoughts, it gives you that boost and that calming feeling. So it's a good mood lifter and a good energy increaser as well, especially if you're feeling a slump in an afternoon, say. Right. Oh, I can see it coming together now because it's starting to have a little bit of a skin on top, and that's what we're looking for. So we're nearly there. We're nearly there. I'm just going to get a knife, and then I should have got that, and then I can just slide it off the spatula so we're not wasting any. Now I love these because it's just a normal butter knife, but it was my grandma's, so it's nice when I'd use it for something like this. It's nice just because she loved baking, loved it, so it brings back some nice memories for me as well. There we are. Back in there. Right, we're very, very close to it now. Okay, so you can put your wild orange in smoothies as well, or it's nice in a glass of water, very refreshing. So you could actually make ice cubes with it, or just put a drop into your glass of water. Right, can you see now? I don't know if you can see there. You see it's starting to go a bit more gooey. So like I said, children absolutely love making this, and you can either pop it into molds and do shapes so they're almost like chocolates, or you can put it in the loaf tin like I've got, and you can then cut a slab. And what I do is the girls make the fudge, and then we wrap it up. Once it's cooled, we wrap it up in greaseproof paper, put a nice ribbon round or some string with a little note, and it makes a great, inexpensive present for the teachers. And it's good because teachers appreciate it because the children have actually made it and they've put that love into it, but also it's something that they don't feel they have to keep because there's only so many mugs and pens and best teacher gifts that they can get, so they can actually share this in the staff room, which I think is quite nice. So here you see it's just starting to slide ever so slowly, and you've got a little crackle on the top, and that's what we're looking for. So when you ice a cake with the icing powder that you mix with water, it gets a little tiny sort of like crust on top just before it sets. This is like what the fudge is like as well. So I'm just going to give it one last stir, and then I think 10 seconds and we are done. So as you can see, it is super simple to make, super simple. Just want to make sure that all the lumps are out. In fact, I don't think it even needs 10 seconds. And then what we'll do is we shall put the wild orange in and give it another good stir to make sure that the oil is distributed throughout all the chocolate. Now the chocolate doesn't get too hot, and that's good because essential oils start to evaporate, and if you put it in, say, a boiling water, you're not going to get the benefits as if you put it in a slightly cooler one. Oh, perfect. It's a bit hard to see, isn't it? But can you see? So you've got, it's that really thick, nice and thick. I can see Jackie there, sort of like going, "Oh, this looks really nice." It is really nice, really nice.
I had a tin of condensed milk.
And, you'll have to go out and buy some. I'm sure they do it in France. So again, we've got the wild orange, and I am going to put 4 drops in. Well, I'll go for 5 because I like it. Now I know that Louise has made this fudge recently, and she chopped it up and put it into clean, dry, recycled jam jars.
Yep.
Which is great.
I did test a little bit.
I was going to say, there's meant to be 7 jars, wasn't there? But did only 6 make it?
Yes, only 6 made it because my teenage son helped me just taste test it.
Well, you
considering he's very fussy, he's like, that's really nice.
That's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So yes, you can see the essential oil has just given it a little bit of a sheen as well on there. Can you see? So what we're going to do now is, I've not practiced this bit before on live, so we'll see how far we get it. Might not be able to scrape it all out. So what we're doing now is tip it all into the, so you can see how thick it's gone. There we go. So like I said, you can do it in molds if you want to be really fancy. but I think it looks quite nice and rustic as a slab. And I think I've done really well because I've not actually tasted any as yet. So then all I'm doing now is flatten it down towards the edges. So if you can see, just pushing it into the edges. And then you don't really want it too flat on the top. I mean, you can do if you wanted to, but I quite like it a bit more rustic. So literally, also you can do designs on it as well. You can make, oh gosh, you can make any flavour. You could do this with lemon oil, you could do it with lavender, you could do it with the peppermint. You could just experiment. Right, there we are. And we have our wild orange and chocolate fudge. So what I'll do now with this, once it's cooled, I'll pop it in the fridge, leave it in the fridge overnight, and then from there you'll be able to take it out the next morning and cut it into slices. Now, if you keep it in an airtight container, it will keep for up to 1 month. So you've got it there then, that when people come round, you've got a little treat that you can give out to them. You can also, if you wanted to, just put a little sprig of holly on, make it look really nice for Christmas, but also just a tiny sprinkling of sieved icing sugar. That's nice. It just gives it that little bit of presentation, and also it helps so that the pieces, if you're cutting it into pieces, that all the pieces don't stick together. So who's now going to be making wild orange chocolate fudge whilst having a luxurious, healthier peppermint hot chocolate? So join us next week for our Tuesday talks, and we are talking about the essential oil Zengest. And that is an amazing oil, especially for this time of year when we're eating much richer foods, probably eating a lot more food as well. So we'll be sharing with you the benefits of it, how you can use it, and the different ways you can use it as well. So thank you very much for everybody. Thank you, Louise, for being my co-host today. And thank you very much, Jackie, for joining us live. If you did register, then you will be getting a link to the YouTube channel and you will be able to watch at your leisure. So thank you very much. Bye for now.